to Transatlantic Voices, the brand new American Studies Leipzig podcast.
Woo!
Hi, friends. How are you doing today?
Oh my god, I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this all year actually, because it's been quite a while since we started planning this.
Yeah, true. Well, you dear listeners might ask yourself what and who you're actually listening to.
Good
Friends,
question.
Give us some explanation.
Well, actually, this ASLAA podcast has existed before. Well, not exactly this one. Another one has existed before during the pandemic, I think it was recorded.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And our mission, so to speak, is just sort of continuing its legacy and building off the foundation that this one has already provided us with. And our goal in this podcast is to sort of give people the platform to speak up, tell their stories, give us some information about their lives, what they do. It's just important to us to really have a conversation with people rather than just letting them list a bunch of information. Yeah.
Actually talking to people what they have to say about the U.S.
Yeah.
Besides the Transatlantic Voices, aka our guests, you will mostly hear our voices. So this episode will solely be dedicated to an introduction of the two of us. Starting with me. My name is Rieke. I'm originally from Potsdam, but can now officially call myself a Leipziger since October last year, when I moved here to study American Studies and Political Science for my bachelor's degree at Leipzig University. And both Franz and I are team members of the American Studies Leipzig Alumni Association, an association which was founded by students of the American Studies Department in 2017, I believe.
Yeah, I think.
Bring together bachelor and also master students, but also alumni for networking opportunities and also educational purposes. So big shout out and thank you to the whole team for enabling us to take over this podcast and supporting us along this ride. I will later talk more about my journey into American Studies. For now, to keep it short on my end, I'm a huge sucker for all kinds of podcasts myself. I start my day listening to the latest news. During the day, I then try to keep up with the new US administration. Then I end my day on a more positive note by putting on one of my meditation podcasts or listening to some celebrity gossip. I'm currently enjoying digging deeper into American history and international politics in my studies and can't wait to share more of that in this podcast. So, well, now on to you. What about you, Franz?
All right. Hi, everyone, again. My name's Franz. I'm also an Aussie. I'm from a little town called Meerane, which is in the north of Zwickau. Some of you may or may not have heard of that. I came to Leipzig also in October of last year to study American Studies. I haven't really settled on a minor yet. I'm just sort of exploring the waters right now. But I think I'm mostly leaning towards culture, pop culture, the arts and crafts. I'm really interested in theater and acting. Music is a huge passion of mine. I'm really excited to be sitting here right now. This is, as I've previously said backstage, this is really a passion project for the both of us. We have started planning this in a little over half a year ago, and sitting here now is really just so incredible because I also am a huge digger of podcasts. I listen to recap podcasts of my favorite reality shows, mainly Drag Race. It's really fun just hearing everyone's comments on that, commentary on everything, but not being an expert of anything. That is really what my life is all about.
Well, aren't we kind of doing this right now, too?
Yeah, we are. We are speaking about stuff that we have essentially no idea about, but we're still having an opinion of it. So yeah, I think it's just great to find a way to leave everyday life for an hour or two. And it's also very important to just let your brain have a rest from the world that is around you, which is arguably incredibly loud right now. So I hope that we can provide you, the listeners, with an opportunity to do exactly that. And yeah, I'm excited.
Well, let's go on. What can listeners actually expect from the two of us chit-chatting? We will mostly have guests over from all kinds of branches. That would be...
Well, pretty much everyone who's got something to do with America, people that have migrated here from the America, specifically still the US, people that are working or researching in the field of American studies, fellow colleagues of ours, as we've previously said, alumni, or we've also talked about maybe bringing in some people that are just generally interested in the USA and its impact on the world. The two of us are most excited about getting to know them better and getting to know them on a deeper level than before.
Exactly. So first thing we will do in our episodes is introducing our guest with an icebreaker question. Why not do it now too?
So the icebreaker question that we've picked for the very first episode is sort of a combination of both of our main interests, politics and pop culture. If you could nominate one pop culturally relevant person for president, who would it be and why? Would you care to start?
First of all, of course, a first woman president. One of my favorite TV shows ever is Scandal. Olivia Pope is the main character, and she is the so-called best fixer in Washington, D.C., taking on the biggest political scandals of the century. And if she were president, I am convinced all issues we experience right now on this world, in the U.S., wherever, would be fixed.
She's had quite a tumultuous journey over the last few years, and it's none other than the queen of all media, Wendy Williams. Because I think she would let everyone have it. I don't know, it would just be, I think the White House would be much more fun with her around. And
party all day. The first part, of our episode will always consist of traveling through time zones, like taking a trip through the US. We will talk with our guests relating to a certain topic about their past, their present, and their future. Let's do it now too.
Yeah.
Let's travel through our personal time zones then to share a little more about us, what has been something crucial in our past, what keeps you up at night about the present, and what adventurous trips have you planned for the future?
We don't have all day. You're aware of that. I'll start us off. Well, as for my past, I think what many people would assume and what I think to me is the most obvious is the way that I grew up as a gay person in a really small conservative town. And I mean, luckily I've had a lovely family around me that has always been the most supportive. Obviously I had to explain things to them, but I'm currently still working there, and it is not rare for other people to come up to me and ask me, why are you wearing makeup? What are you doing here? How can you do this? You're a insert F slur. You know, I've gotten used to it at this point. I'm always saying to my friends, I've grown a pretty thick skin against it, and there's not a lot that you can say to me that would actually hurt me on this level. So over the years, I've grown more and more accustomed to actually sort of sorting out what's important and what's not important to focus on. And I think this is what really led me here to where I am right now, because also the way that I chose what to study at university, what was clear to me from the beginning is that I wanted to study at university, because I've heard from other people before that it's this huge opportunity to get to know yourself, get to know other people, get to know other cultures and other countries even. And that really intrigued me, but I never really thought I was good enough. And at first I applied to a private university to study music production, but then that didn't feel right, and I sort of did not really want the money to go to waste. So I quit before it was too late for me. And then I worked toward applying for a theater school. But then that didn't feel right either, because I wasn't really sure how to handle this professional acting environment, which is still pretty much somebody is telling you what to do and then you need to execute it, and you don't really have creative control over what it is that you do. And I didn't want that. I really wanted to be in charge of what I do, and I wanted to sort of execute my creative vision myself.
Don't make your hobby to your job, they say.
Well, yeah, that applies to many things, but for some people it has worked out. Some people have made it their job, but I think there's still a huge percentage. I mean, those people are in the minority. There's still a huge majority of people that desperately wish to do what they love as their job, but for most people it just doesn't work. And once I've come to closure with that reality, I was sort of able to look past that, and then I looked for something else. Okay, English is one of my biggest strengths, has always been that at school, and I have a large interest in America for sure. So I read through it. I watched some videos of other alumni or then current students explaining what it is that they do. And I thought, well, that sounds pretty perfect for me. I love reading. I love writing. I can live out my creativity, which is mainly revolving around words. And I'll still be able to stay within my comfort zone. But then again, it's an academic field. So I'm also at the same time stepping out of my comfort zone and venturing into new territory that I've not previously explored.
So what's something that you enjoy about it right now?
What I'm enjoying about it right now is being curious. I always say that when you're a curious person, you never run out of ideas and you never run out of things to do.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And you never cease to be inspired. And that is what I love most about it. Of course, it is hard from time to time. Sure, it's university. There's maybe 1 in 1,000 people that's going to tell you, well, that's a piece of cake. Maybe even less than that. And that's close to none. But yeah, so it's just fun for me to do all this research on things that I've previously not really thought about before. I've just worked on a presentation about how the Republican Party was founded.
Well, what's something that you're looking forward to?
I'm not so sure about it, actually. No, I just sort of, I'm a person that likes to go with the flow and see what's coming to me. And I've never really been one to look out into the future, even though it is certainly fun to sort of be philosophical about what's going to happen later on in your life. That is something that my friends and I do all the time. But
no, but it's a really good mindset.
Yeah,
I feel like everyone is always so concerned and just focused on what is going to happen.
Yeah. And
tomorrow, next week, next month.
That's going to ultimately just pressuring yourself.
Well, it's nice to have some people, at least, like you, that are just living in the moment. That's some great inspiration.
Thank you.
Well, my time travel concerns my path into American studies too. And what has brought me here is firstly being able to combine both of my main interests, the US and politics. Especially my interest in the US is rooted in an almost, I would call it, desire I've had for a very long time. In school, you mainly study the language, but not the culture, critical theory, the people, their traditions, mindsets.
Yeah.
So many questions had been left unanswered for me, and I always wanted to dig deeper.
I remember only getting a sort of handout that briefly summarizes American history, but there's obviously way more to it than that. So.
And I was simultaneously looking for something that enables me to walk a path into all kinds of places, geographically speaking, but also job related. And I then was able to spend the summer before applying for Leipzig University at one of my dearest friends' home in the US, and have, besides one exception, almost never before felt this sense of connection somewhere and having arrived at a particular point.
Yeah.
I have now also found my place here in this liberal arts in these liberal arts studies in Leipzig. And concerning the present, what is the most joyful thing about it now is, I'd say, the community, especially of our American Studies Leipzig Alumni Association.
Oh, I forgot to mention that, of course.
Well, our group is very unique, consisting of enrolled students, alumni, and even faculty staff, and we get to learn a lot from each other, share our experiences, and realize our own projects, like the two of us are doing right now with this podcast. Thanks to my studies, I can be part of this joyful group that I couldn't imagine my university life without anymore. And since I'm a type A, and I always think about the future, and I plan it out, I map it out, I hope to be able to be part of maintaining and taking care of the transatlantic relations through diplomacy, intercultural exchange, and dialogue in the future. This time feels scary, but I would like to gain the expertise here at Leipzig University and the skills to make it feel less intimidating.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to also introduce the second part of our main part, our hot takes, our community takes?
Our community takes. So each episode, we plan on, well, sort of exploring some questionable or controversial topics, or even things that many of the listeners might have never heard of. So yeah, we have consulted with the people from ASLAA.
Exactly. So for today, they have given us a hot take, but for the future, you guys listening, our listeners, you can send us any kinds of hot takes concerning the US or whatever you just feel like. Just send them to us. We will talk about it. Hopefully it'll be not only interesting, but also fun. And I guess today's hot take is fun because I've actually never heard about this. So our ASLAA team members told us they want a Walmart in Germany again. I did not know that there was Walmart in Germany.
I've prepared a little something for this segment. I did my research, which is what we all should do from time to time. Critical thinking is very important.
Thanks.
Don't forget.
Yes.
There was once a German expansion of the US chain Walmart. Walmart entered the German market in 1997 by acquiring two local chains. You may have heard of them, Wertkauf and Interspar. Interspar is the only one that I've heard of before.
Yeah, me
I
too.
don't know about you.
Wertkauf,
I've never heard of
that.
Me neither. So those two chains combined consisted of 95 stores. However, due to several reasons, the expansion ended in a huge loss for the chain in 2006 of around $1 to $3 billion. And some reasons for that were that, Walmart wanted to establish the American style, whatever that means, in Germany. So some things that they did was smiling and greeting the customers at the entrance or during cash out, which is, I've never been to the US before. I don't know if this is really common in US supermarkets. Do they all just smile at you uncomfortably?
It's extreme. Yes.
Really?
But I mean, as a foreigner, it feels weird, but it's actually also really nice because, like I mentioned, I come from Potsdam, which is a beautiful city in Brandenburg. And the people there, although the environment is really beautiful, the people are not really the friendliest, I'd say, to be honest. So simply a cashier smiling at me and greeting me is a rare occurrence there. So I really enjoyed it in the US, to be honest.
Another thing that they did was they were doing all these team building activities. They, like, for instance, right before the store would open, they would all have a group chant together and they would say how great they are. That was very unpopular with the German employees, and many of them saw it as fake and even as creepy. And also several things that they did were violations against German laws. For instance, they were working according to the loss leader pricing, which means that they sold products at a loss to attract customers. However, that was illegal by German law. And they also, in general, just had a hard time going against this well-established German retail market, which has stores like Lidl and Aldi and all these huge chains that have already internationally expanded quite successfully, actually. I know that Lidl is a well-established chain in the US as well.
It is, yeah.
And in short, Walmart Germany was a huge failure.
Well, thank you for sharing that information. Thank you for doing all this research. This was fun. This was really interesting.
It was fun to research, yeah.
And now concerning the actual hot take, we need Walmart in Germany again. I know that Walmart is controversial, not only here in Germany, but also in the US.
Mm-hmm.
But a Walmart here in Germany would actually be great. Would be a great experience to have, to go shopping there.
All right.
Okay, well.
My take on the hot take is actually, I don't care. I ultimately don't care. I've never been to a Walmart before. I'd have to shop at one to actually have an opinion of it. So
let's open one up and you get to have the experience.
Yeah, sure. They're going to do that. We're going to call the CEO of Walmart right now.
All right, everyone. So for the final part of our episode, we will always be asking our guest for a recommendation of a vacation place, their favorite place whatsoever in the US.
This is the one I'm most excited for.
So we can build our own Transatlantic Voices roadmap or trip.
Mm-hmm.
So by the end of the next couple of episodes, we will have hopefully built a roadmap or a somewhat recommendation list of special places in the US. They obviously won't be organized in a particular order at first, but we hope to draw a cohesive map for you at some point on our socials.
Yeah.
You might want to actually make use of then and plan your own trip. So what place would you like our trip to start off?
All right.
You have the honors.
Let's set the scene. Around New Year's Eve of last year / this year, I've been quite obsessed with a song called Walking in Memphis by a singer called Mark Kahn. And obviously Cher has covered this song too, so I've been very obsessed with this song. You know, it was written during Mark Kahn's journey through Memphis because he was just suffering from a writer's block. And he sort of wanted to go to the capital of rock and roll to find some inspiration. And he did. It is a very autobiographical song. And obviously, what I do after I've listened to a song, I do some research on it. And I've also done some research on the city of Memphis. And I ultimately settled on Memphis, Tennessee to be the first place that I would want to visit because I really I would really want to feel exactly the same things that Mark Kahn has felt when he wrote the song. He went to Graceland, obviously. He visited Elvis Presley's grave.
So this is not just a travel recommendation. You now all received a song recommendation. Thanks, Franz. Well, we're traveling from the South to somewhat the Midwest, I'd say, because I would like to put Colorado on our list. More specifically, the Denver region, because my American family, as I call them, lives there, and I spent some time, the most beautiful summer, at all the great places the Centennial State has to offer. Rocky Mountains, Red Rocks, Garden of the Gods, the beautiful Denver suburbs. Essentially a region of very rich history. And I just had a great time there, and I wish that more people would experience the beauty of this region. So yeah, this will be our first 2 places to visit or for you to visit in the future. And we're excited to add more to this list.
Yes. Obviously, you can always tell us about your ideas, the places that you want to go to, the places that you would want to explore, the things that you want to get to know. We are very curious to see that. However, that is all written in the stars for now. Unfortunately, this brings us to the end of the very first episode. I've had such a blast talking to you.
Me too.
And talking about what moves us right now. So now for you, now it's your turn, dear listeners, to give us some feedback.
We would highly appreciate feedback from you.
Yes, we're still baby podcasters. This is very new to the both of us.
If there's anything or anyone you are interested in, or anything we could do differently, you can always reach out to us.
On our Instagram.
It's ASLAA_EV.
Yes.
And you can also write an email, aslaa.de. We're excited to hear from you.
We sure are.
Hopefully you're excited to hear from us next time.
I sure am.
Well, I'm excited to see you again on the microphone in front of me. I had a blast.
Me
See you
too.
around next time with a guest.
Stay tuned.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Woo,
Thanks for having
bye-bye.
us.